Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's the finale, boys. We're coming to the end. I'm not sure if I'm happy or sad. Alex, I'm sure you're happy, given the fact that you've been here the entirety of the night, which is an incredible effort. In fairness, Ash, sorry, I don't want to neglect the fact that you have been, so far as I can tell, as well, at least for the majority of it. So thank you to you both for putting in the hard yards. We're into the final hour of this race, so 23 hours in the books, one still remaining. Peter Wolfschlenner for the Reckless Racing team is very much on their way, taking him and his team to victory. They've got a minute and a half gap back to Santema in the 34 McLaren just behind, and then it's a Porsche rounding out the podium. Alex, I don't know if it was you and I who discussed this, but it might have been someone in me, I can't remember, but I'm sure we were talking about whether we'd see a non-McLaren on the podium in it. We're up where there's a chance for it, must be said.
We did, and there might be a big battle between P2 and P3. P3 being a Porsche at the moment, which I'd hope to have in P2 even. I'm not the biggest fan of the Porsche, and I'm a bigger fan of the McLaren, but at the moment, just because of how Big Mackie the server is now, it's
we want to see some different. We want to see some different people in there, don't we? The final stretch from the store call. Let's go. Let's get this done. Let's get this in the books.
I love the energy.
Finish this off with a bang. Let's put up the old pit wall timing again. Let's pin that bad boy in the chat. It's funny. I was looking at the chat on my screen, obviously the screen that I've just showed you as well, and I forgot that I was looking at the old chat from the last stream that we were doing.
No.
Look at it go, nothing's coming through. That's a bit odd.
Door Cork saying final stretch, let's go. Yes, last 57 minutes. He's been here for a lot of the time.
I was going to say that I've seen some familiar names in the chat every time I jumped on overnight. Goodness me.
Harry's
you boys and girls have put in a massive bit of effort. Obviously, you've seen donations from people overnight as well. What are we at total wise?
90%.
Final hour. £1,805, £195 to go to reach the target that we set. It's worth noting that if we don't reach that target, we are still currently £805 over our original target. We only actually set our target of £1,000 to raise in the first instance. So even if we don't get to there, which I'd love to do, I still think there's been a chance and a likelihood it will happen. But if we don't, then we're still absolutely smashed the original target out of the water.
Brilliant.
The David has returned. Hey Trinker, how you doing, my man? Yeah, it's been a busy night for me. Had to spend some time with the family. You know how it is. A bit of time this morning as well. But I'm back to bring it home for the final hour. These two legendary people.
Doc, you're an absolute mad lad. You are for being here for 20+ hours.
Technically, I could say that I have been here. I just haven't actually been on the in the broadcast chat because I have been streaming the entire thing. So, and then Trinket and I are actually busy this evening as well. We're rounding off the Onid Multiclass World Cup on the Onid Racing channel as well. So it doesn't end.
Good to see you in the Onid comms as well.
Who's this? Brogan Dyer. He's coming up behind one of the Porsches. That's the 474 Porsche of... Where are they at the moment? Where's their name on my screen? I can't see them. Oh, it's Feltham in the car at the moment. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, gosh, yeah. Trinket raises a very good point. The race that we're commentating on this evening is also at Spa.
Oh yeah, Ash mentioned that.
Which
too.
Ash, you're driving in, of course.
Oh, Ash is gone. He's went walkabouts.
Oh, he's disappeared, is he? I don't blame him. To be fair, he's got a bit of stewarding to do. I can only imagine.
Stewarding wasn't too bad through the night. Just one thing I'm going to say, for me and Ash's lives to make it easier, add evidence and put them in the right box. Because yeah, we had a lot of people just sending their links to that, like, you know how you have the it's like some sort of link in your file explorer. They just copied and paste that. It's like,
well, that's not very
helpful. It's like, I'm not even gonna comment on that one.
That is not the most helpful thing in the world, but it's fine. these things happen. People know the risks.
Of course. Here we are with a very, very broken luck in ABL Racing car with Freddie Coleman. I actually wonder what happened to that car, because last time I checked, it wasn't having a talkative bonnet. So,
Considering you are the one of the guys who drives in that team, I'd like to think you would know.
Peter, yeah, I did a few hours when I was off comms during yesterday, but I wasn't really meant to be racing. I was just there for backup purposes, which wasn't really needed, which is good.
Good stuff. Like to see it. What's that from Harry? I had to sleep. I was falling asleep, so I couldn't redo it. 4 nights. God, Jesus. 4 hours sleep the night before. That is an absolutely horrible form of events, but we're nearly there. You can have as long a sleep as you want after this.
Harry saying a very valid point. Well done, all involved.
Yeah, everyone from those managing the stream, the stewards, the back office guys, and everyone is racing and donated, and everyone in the chat as well, of course. So everybody has absolutely done a madness.
100% tour. So is the GT4 League on this week? Is it going to be a break week for you guys?
No, it should still be on as far as I know. I've not heard anything different. Ash and Rich are probably the ones to clarify on that, because they're the ones who are managing it. But as far as I know, pretty sure they are on the they're set up ready to go at, I think it's the finale.
It's the finale at Misano, yes. Hopefully going to commentate that. We've got Frank, or Delusion Can, saying hello Alex, hello Frank. Jamie Butchernan saying morning David. And then Harry going all over Robert.
Good morning, Jamie. It's lovely to see you, my friend.
An amazing. I agree. Such an amazing team. That. No bias at all. On board with the a very nice car. Probably one I've been rooting for the most, with the positive perception cars before I get told off again. But the Celtic Romance Aston Martin V12. I can't say how much I love this car. This car is easily my favourite car in a course of competition.
Had a really good result as well. I mean, if you consider where they started, it's a. I think for me,
so far,
I can't really speak massively on behalf of the team because I haven't really seen a huge amount of them in particular. But it shows you, from what I can tell anyway, how important it is in a race of this length to try and keep things clean.
Fortunately, they're the one team that I haven't been able to get an interview with. They're quite busy, which is fair enough. I think there's only 3 drivers in that team, something like that.
There's only a few of them. I know that Kiki's one of them, and
Kiki's been in the chat.
He's been kicking around, in the chat every now and again and that sort of thing. So I know they're around. Anyone from the Celtic Romance team, if you want to come in and have a chat, Dan, Kelly, Kiki, or Mr. Crinson. Dan Crinson should be around somewhere. I'm sure he's always offering his services to jump in and have a natter with us. So, Dan, if you're around, you are more than welcome.
I just want to say how much I'm sick of sweets. I'm not having sweets again after this week. My diet has been off the balance now.
Yeah, I can absolutely imagine. This is why you need to go and get some sleep after this.
Oh, I managed to get 1 hour. That's 1 hour than more than I got, but after this, yeah, I'll definitely be going. Actually, no, I need to keep my sleep schedule the same, so I'm actually not going to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You don't want to sleep all day and then be screwed this evening. So we're not doing another race tonight as well. So
that's true. That's very true. A minute behind.
So 50 minutes till the end of this one, as we see Thard Plug. I'm assuming that's Sard Plug. That's how I would pronounce it. Anyway, someone mentioned that name in chat on this one. It was from DC Racing.
I was going to mention
good luck,
it.
Sard Plug.
I think I heard of backlash that name a bit too much because I have no idea how to say that, but now I do. Netherlands team, so I'm presuming it might be a Dutch name.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
Might also be worth trying to get Johnny Ashley on the stream if he's not busy as well.
People will come in. They'll come in if they want to. Although, well, I'm sure we'll get quite a few people drop in at the end of it as well. So
Exactly.
still plenty of time. You and I can manage this to the end. We've got 48 minutes to go.
Have a...
It's a bit wrong apparently what I've said. I'm not entirely surprised. If you can do the pronunciation via the YouTube chat, I'm more than happy to try again.
Hello, Mark.
Hello. There's actually someone in your waiting room.
Yeah, I know. I've just noticed that.
Oh, Dan Quinton is listening. Right, let's move him in.
Here he is.
Legends of the V12s.
I had a feeling your ears would be burning, Dan. How are you?
Hello. By yourself?
All the better for hearing from the iconic V12 team of the Celtic Bromance. How has it been for you?
It's been really good fun actually. We really enjoyed it. The obviously we're not the fastest car out there, but we don't really care. It's yeah.
You say
it's
that
good fun.
you're currently the 27th fastest car over the course of a 23-hour race. So
I know it's a bit of a surprise. We were expecting we wouldn't be pleased with the top 40 really, but yeah, top 30's pretty good. But I'm not sure how much of that we're going to keep at the minute. We might drop back down into 30.
yeah, you've got a few. Yeah, you got a few people. So you got what 4 or 5 within sort of just over half a minute, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean it's tough to get. I mean I can give you an idea once everyone's kind of set things up. It looks like Dan had a bit of an excursion a moment ago because he's just slightly slow lap time, so it's kind of dropping back. But what was I going to say? I think am I right in thinking that you guys have been fairly fortunate in terms of the lack of incidents? Because
Yeah, we've
I feel like I've not really seen a huge amount of you guys apart from
we've had a couple of
McLaren's
slight
kind of-
bumps, but we've not really hit the scenery too hard, really. So we've only had one drive through. So we just kept it as clean as we can, which I think's helped us a lot.
Absolutely. I think that's what Alex and I were saying, funny enough, a few minutes before you guys came in. I think you've kind of, with that car in particular, and it's by no means a comment to you guys, because obviously you were racing with us on Thursday night, did a fantastic job, as you will remember. But considering you're using one of the slowest cars in the game, that shows how important a clean race is, because you started, pretty much right at the back.
Pretty much.
You're not going to mind me saying. You're well above halfway. So it's a massive improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guys done a good job. I mean, Dan and Kiki did most of the hard work in the first 12 hours. And then me and Callum took over for the night shift. And we kept it, I think, most of it. I think by the time the brake change worked out, we ended up back where we were when Dan and Kiki handed over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it worked out okay. We kept hold of it.
How was the night shift? How was it driving in?
It nearly went a bit wrong because I dozed off.
Oh, no.
Callum was in, and I think about 8 minutes until he was due to come in, I dozed off. So then I woke up, and then he'd started a new stint, so I had to wait for that one to finish and stay awake, try and stay awake again to get to the next stint, which was fine, because then the sun came up and it was pretty good.
Yeah. And how was it from us? Because I was talking about this on the stream before we moved everything over to the night shift last night. How was the morning shift, like the sunrise and things like that? Was it particularly impactful for you guys when you're coming around certain corners and seeing it come up? Or
we were looking forward to the early morning because I think the Aston quite likes the sunrise part of the race where it's quite cool, but there's still a bit of track temperature starting to come in. I think that suits the Aston potentially. We were getting good times, so I think we got a 20.3 at one point, which is pretty good for the car. I think we were hoping for a 19, but I'm not sure we're going to get it.
I can't see what your fastest lap is a 2:20.0112. I mean, that's at least from the end of last night. I think we can probably, when the race is finished, we can get a clearer idea as to what it is. So
yeah, that'll be recently then.
I was going to say that'll be relatively earlier on or relatively recently. You're right, I think. So what? Gonna sound like it's a very loaded question, I admit, but we've got 45 minutes left. I'm assuming Dan's gonna finish the race. Can't imagine you've got another. Hopefully, you've not got another pit stop planned.
We do have one more stops. We've gone with 2 short stints, low fuel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but it's presumably not changing tyres.
We're gonna put new tyres on. There's new tyres, low fuel, and just go for it and see where we end up.
Okay, near the end. Nice.
Yeah.
And is Dan bringing it home?
It might be Kiki. It might be me. I'm not sure yet.
I love the preparation.
I love the
organisation,
organisation, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've just seen you guys get a drive-through for track
I saw
limits.
that as well.
Heartbreaking.
Oh,
Absolutely heartbreaking.
so sorry to be the bearer of bad.
Well, the top 40 is still on anyway.
Well, that's actually what the loaded question was going to be. I was going to ask what you guys would see as a reasonable result, given you're in 27th, excusing the drive-through, which will now put you, fortunately, back to, I think, 31st at least. What's a reasonable result for you guys, given the choice of car and everyone else that's around you, and especially seeing there's a few McLarens not too far behind as well?
Yeah, we said top 40 at the start, so I think that's still the case, and we would have been mega happy with the top 30, but not gonna happen.
I mean, you never know. We've still got 43 minutes left, and I saw just before the server had to be restarted yesterday afternoon that P1 absolutely binned it through Radeon. So they got fortunate with that red flag, because I think if they'd have carried on any further, I think they might have potentially lost quite a bit of time. So
yeah,
there's still room for change.
Yeah, we need things to happen in front of us, unfortunately.
Keep the faith, Dan. Keep the faith. It could happen.
It could.
You never know. So how long until the final stop then? When are you guys planning to come in?
Soon, really. It was going to be a 40-odd minute stint. I think we came in for the last proper stop with about an hour and 40 left, so we're going to be just split it down the middle. Short fuel, new tyres, and see what lap times we can do. So yeah, anytime.
Stuff. Well, this is going to sound like I'm pushing out. I'm definitely not, because I'd love to chat to you for the rest of the race. But if you do need to disappear and make sure you know who's driving your final stint, then please do not feel like you have to come and continue to ramble with us. If it's Kiki, then stay with us to the end. That's absolutely fine.
No problem.
Just for me, absolutely incredible performance in a V12. It's been a joy to lap it.
Oh my god!
How many times?
It's been a few, I think. I think we've lapped it a couple of times. But it's a gorgeous car to listen to, and
yeah, we've always tried to make sure we don't lose as much time being lapped by just like getting out of the way or just making it easy.
If I'd have had my way, we would either have been in the M6 or the 650S for this event, and I'm kind of regretting the fact we weren't now.
I would have gone the M6 or the GTR. GTR was a good choice as well.
The Nissan was the choice of Rich Pickley, of course. Sadly, he didn't make it through the night. I don't think that's anything to do with Japanese reliability, unless his wheelbase is Japanese as well. I'm not entirely sure, but
wouldn't surprise me.
I think it was.
All it proves is that whenever I have any involvement in a race that Rich is doing, whether I'm racing against him, whether I'm commentating on it, whether I've got any form of involvement whatsoever, he always has a problem.
Well,
I don't know what it is. I am almost like I am his commentator's curse.
You really are. Yeah. That's why he hasn't done the GT3 League this time round. He's just been doing GT4s because you don't.
Yeah, and that's why I daren't get involved in the GT4s. I feel like he'd never win.
We're straight back in now for the stop.
Dan, good luck.
Cool. Catch you later.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, Dan.
Bye-bye.
Have a good end. Lovely stuff.
Amazing.
Mark, can you drag Mr. Geordie in?
Aye.
He's messaged me and asked if he could bring him in once he's finished his natter. Once we finished our natter, I should say.
Mr. Who? Who am I dragging?
What do you mean, Mr. Dragging your teammate and resident Geordie of the community.
Jamie of the Bees.
Jamie of the Bees.
Jamie of the Bees. Hold on. Here he is.
Also, Daniel Hedstrom. Here is the battle between 94 and 751.
It's crap.
Which feels a little bit loaded because two people in the chat now. So Jamie and Mark, you're both driving in the 751 car.
I'm honestly watching this with my eyes slightly closed. It was.
Me too.
The last stint I've just done has possibly been the most intense. sorry, I'm seeing stuff on my screen, has possibly been the most intense battle I've had all race. It was absolutely insane. Oscar Motton, absolute credit to the sim racing community here. What a guy!
I'm gonna put a special bit of focus. I've turned off because we're going to finish now. I've turned off the auto cameras. That is a done deal now. Look at this. This is going to be Boschart. Is he going to try and get the inside? This is exactly what we want to see come towards the end. This is what I love, right? This doesn't, and to be fair, this is respectful of every community that does a race like this. You can go 23.5 hours into a race and you'll still get battles like this half an hour from the end.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Amazing.
It is absolutely incredible. And a true testament to Bart. He only joined the team last week. We've borrowed him from Alex's team, ABL. And he's been an absolute credit. I think he's done more hours than all of us. I think maybe Neuterlings has done similar, but he's an absolute trooper. And he has set the fastest lap for the team as well.
Which is a 2:18.7, if I'm not mistaken.
2:18.
Or at least it is from
2:18.767.
That's a fast lap.
Now I matched it. I matched his previous best lap in the night with a 2:18.780. So the boy is fast. He's doing.
Boy, be quick.
He is very quick. Thank you for loaning him out.
Do I regret it? Nope. Maybe. Nah, it's fine. I'm not.
Well, he's still got a bit of work to do. He's still got to get past Mr. Oscar Motan at the moment, and Daniel Hedstrom is probably hoping that won't happen. He's rightly pointed in the chat. He's a Hexagon Nation supporter. So.
Well, we shall see.
It's looking very, very close. Bart is putting all the pressure on.
We've just got to pray for decent traffic right now. I mean, we're even catching 14th.
Oh, he's going to get the inside into Pool on his knee. This is a brave move.
This is where I took him earlier.
He's going to get it done.
I took him here earlier. This was tight. Oh, God.
I tell you what, the racecraft of these two is fantastic. Look how close they are. Motan's just about going to hold on.
My eyes are closed.
Could you see around the outside of Piff Paff? He's going to try it. No, he's not.
We're hoping 711 gets out of the way now as well.
Yeah, you've got who is that in the car in front? First is in the car, ironically in 14th though.
Yeah, this is how intense this battle is. We're catching 14th as Mottin made a huge mistake there coming onto the back straight, which isn't
unfortunately
really
Bart's on the outside though, so he's not going to get that move done. I wouldn't have thought. He's going to get crowded out. Oscar's going to do the right thing here.
I was here earlier and I backed out of it, but Bart,
oh my word! The minerals on that,
ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Clip it,
wow.
clip it, clip it, clip it. Jesus, what a move that was. I mean, that is...
Oh, my days.
That is incredible.
Why we put him in for the last stint instead of me.
Yeah.
I need to drop back to casual chat and just have a word with him.
Send him some good vibes. That was an incredible move. He's now got to hold on to it though, Jamie, and that's the important thing. How quick is that BMW in a straight line compared to the McLaren from what you've seen? Because I'm assuming you've probably had at least one or two McLarens behind you in your stints that you've done.
It's pretty quick in a straight line. I think the McLaren just has a lot of the edge out of the corners, as you can see coming out of turn one. The hairpin, the McLaren just gets away. And once it gets in the slipstream, it's also really quick. But I think side by side, the BMW's, I think it's got the edge.
This first is, oh no, it's all gone horribly wrong. Oh, heartbreaking. I mean, luckily you guys have got a massive gap behind, and that is fair play to Motan as well, because it looks to me like he's waited there. Because, I mean, understandably, it wasn't the incident of anyone in particular. I think it was just unfortunate that the McLaren the other McLaren first kind of lost a little bit of the back end there, didn't he, and then got caught up in it. But respect to that man, if in the form of first for Oscar, I should say, who's very kindly waited.
Yeah, man.
I kind of want them to drift back towards each other though, because that was a good battle to watch.
Definitely. But it's been fun. I've had probably an hour and a half sleep since Thursday night now, so I'm pretty tired. So yeah, it's been a long night.
Jesus, yeah, that is respect to you. Respect to both of you in the chat because you both put a stint. You've both put some big stints in overnight, in fairness, whereas I have basically just disappeared off and had a lovely long sleep, which feels a little bit lazy.
Perks of being a broadcaster and having
This is it, mate.
auto camera.
If I didn't have the auto camera, then it would have been a completely different situation. Very glad that the app that I use decided to install that before this race actually went live. Now I'm just going to jump up to the front of the grid. We've got a change for the lead. Abe Santema and the Thomas Enger sim racing cars now overtaken the lead. That's because David Sparks, has actually pitted. So I'm not sure. I can't see the full stint times. Whether that could potentially be a final stop for both of them.
Potentially. There's only 33 minutes left, so.
Let's see if I can find stint times on pit wall, because that would be the best way for me to have a look. Stints and pit times. There we go. So if I can find this, I want to see what's going on.
Oh, it's starting to come back together now. There's going to be another battle on.
So yeah, Abe and let's go back to this one now. Yeah, like I say, Abe's been in the car for 48 minutes, so they will have to pit because they're not going to be able to get to the end with the 70-minute stint timer on there as well. So that will be a pit stop that's needed for that 38 McLaren. I think it's 38. It might be a different number, to be fair. Thank you to Onid Racing Car 999 for your £10 donation. That's a good point. We haven't checked. I need to get Mark to check to see whether everyone's actually donated. I'm pretty sure they will have, but...
So I think the last time I checked, we were on £1,800 exactly.
Yeah, we're on 1,815 now. We're just under 200 away. It's amazing. Like I was saying earlier when we kicked off the final part of the stream, like we originally set a target of 1,000, didn't we? So the fact that we've nearly doubled that is incredible.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You know, hats off to everybody that's donated, racers, friends, families, all those people that have reached in, and made a donation. Doesn't matter how little or large, every little helps, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it all makes a difference, and that's the important thing. Just a reminder for those of you who weren't aware, we did actually get some information from SiMBA as to exactly where this money does go and what actually the money we're raising goes towards. So every £15 that we raise, or that anyone raises, in fairness, it's not just us who do this work and raise money for this charity, that helps fund us what they call a small memory box. So that's what they donate to families who've lost babies up to 14 weeks through pregnancy. Every £40 that's raised will help fund a medium memory box, which is babies lost from 14 to 24 weeks. And then every £55 goes towards a large memory box, which is for babies that are lost after 24 weeks, stillborn, or a neonatal death. So it just gives the people a chance. If you haven't seen the video, then I'll probably put it up again to finish the stream off. So do make sure you come back and have a look at it, because it does paint a picture, doesn't it, guys, in terms of the stuff they do. Like, it is really important to people, because obviously, like, it's something you wouldn't wish on anyone, ultimately.
No, you know, being a parent. You know, it's the last thing you would dream of happening to anybody, whether you know them or not. It's an awful set of circumstances. So SiMBA are obviously doing a really good job with everything they do to help these families.
100%. Couldn't put it better myself. On a slightly lighter note, I have to just add that every team has donated. So, for those of you who are right at the top of the stream, we probably mentioned the fact that if anyone hadn't donated as a team by the 23rd hour, they would receive a stop-go penalty. Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, Jamie, Alex, I don't know what you guys think of this, but fortunately, no one is getting a penalty. It could have spiced things up at the end if they hadn't have done, though, to be fair. Might have seen some differences in the order. Imagine if you were leading the race and hadn't donated at that stage.
I'm glad there's no penalties, because I'd have to put the penalties up. So
That's a very good point
Requires
as
more
well, to be
effort.
fair.
Yeah,
That is a very good point.
it's a long race, and if you were leaving it till the race to donate, then people get tired and forget. So it could have spiced things up, like you say. But thankfully everybody's has donated before the 23rd hour. So
Absolutely, it's nice to see that everyone's done it. I mean, it's not a surprise, like you say. People have had such a long time to do it. It's good to see that it is actually being done. And it's also nice to see, Jamie, that your teammate Bart is actually starting to pull a bit of a gap now.
yeah,
So Motown, he was 0.6 of a second quicker on that last lap.
yeah, he's eking away slightly. I think Motard made a little bit of an error at what's the double left-hander going down the hill called Puon. That's the one. Terrible with these track corner names.
In fairness, the track map I'm looking at calls it a different name, but I've never heard it not be called Puon. So just to add some confusion to the mix.
Yeah. So yeah, like I say, I think Motard went a bit wide. Just had to get off the gas a bit, which opened the gap up a bit to Bart.
Yeah. That's fair enough. These things happen. He's continuing to do it at the moment. It looks like Oscar's he's maybe having a bit of struggle. Not struggle keeping it on the track, but struggling keeping it within the lines because the last few laps he's done have been invalid. So just something to keep an eye out for. Might potentially see. I'm sure there's at least one more drive-through in the books before we finish off this race. There's a 5-second penalty down at the back end.
There's going to be some drama. I know for a fact there's going to be some drama.
Absolutely. We've all done this before. We know there's going to be something to continue to spice things up before the end. Especially
if you've got people fighting, there's going to be bumping and nudging, and somebody's going to end up off and get a penalty, and it's it's good fun to watch. But I'm going to leave you be. I'm going to go back to the chat with the team. Obviously, I just wanted to thanks David and Alex for broadcasting
thank Alex
tonight. He has.
Yes.
Oh my god, I just had a heartbreaking moment where, for some reason, apologies if that happened on the stream as well, but OBS decided to disconnect and reconnect very briefly. I don't know if anyone lost anything on there, but if you did, I apologise. It looks like we are still up and running, so... that
was close.
It was a little bit scary for a minute then.
Thank God for that.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jamie, for being involved. Thank you for coming and have a little natter with us as well.
Yeah, no worries. And it was nice to get the kids off the bed. Our 7-year-old's been supporting me all night, but he couldn't hang on for the last hour, unfortunately.
Oh, bless him.
So, but yeah, no, it's good.
They're the real winners here, mate.
Well,
take it easy, buddy.
See you soon.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Good stuff. Nice day from Jamie F. and a 751 BMW POS per machine, one of the two POS per machines. Good race. Surprised the Nissan's still on. It isn't, Martins. I'm really sorry. Rich sadly had to retire late last night due to a overheating wheelbase.
I see a little a scary, fast Manchester person back in our chat again. Hello, John.
Yeah, we'll get back to him in a minute. But yeah, Martin, sorry. Yeah, Rich sadly had to retire. I haven't seen him since. I don't know if he's kicking around in the Discord anywhere. But yeah, very disappointed. He's obviously gutted, as you can imagine. But he disappeared just before the end of the first stream last night. Let's go big. From Ivan Barak in the chat. That's why we've got him on the screen at the moment. There's not a huge amount of cars too close on track at the moment. Everyone's kind of just filtered out a little bit. We've got a few gaps that are relatively close. Yeah, Johnny Seville back in the chat. Morning to you, my friend. Nice to see you again. Hope you had a good evening last night. Suggestions of applying a McLaren tax. I think that would be relatively fair. What's that? 15 of the 17 runners at the top end are all McLarens. So,
surprise?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely no surprise whatsoever.
Oh, I know I've done some weird to the stream.
It is the meta.
Oh,
that much is clear.
I'm gonna have to rejoin Discord. I've absolutely broken my Discord. Hang on. Actually, no, I fixed it. Never doubted myself.
Drive through for Milan Halmas in the short racing, one of the many McLarens of the Big Mac. It's the McLaren Cup. I'm just going to bring back up the meme that was
yes.
put on yesterday. I didn't want to leave it on overnight because I felt like you'd probably have to explain it to everyone. So we'll leave it on for a little while now. But essentially, yeah, it's the McLaren. It's the Big Mac. It was very kindly put together by Yan Yan, who I have seen in the chat this morning.
Yeah, he was in chat quite a lot last night as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, McLaren Spa OP. Couldn't put a better. So I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not sure why we're watching a drive-through penalty being served. I did not choose the McLaren, but the McLaren didn't choose me and spat me off into the wall several times. Trinket, I have seen your message on Discord, by the way. Feel free to hop into the waiting room, and we'll have a little natter with you. It'd be nice to see you in the last sort of 25 minutes or so. See how you guys have been getting on. And Wilbur Usanin asks if we had a safe night. I'll leave that to you, Alex, seeing as I wasn't here last night.
Safe night. Depends what you want to call safe. It wasn't too bad. Incident sheets weren't too full, so it wasn't too bad to get through. Luckily, Ash took over 5 AM just before I decided to take a break. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. There was obviously the odd incidents that you expect. So everyone's getting tireder, so more people make more silly mistakes because they're just tired. But it wasn't too bad at all. I think Ash got the worst of it with all of the penalties I saw. But
he always does.
Yeah.
So this is the closest battle on track at the moment. It is Tim Botcher and Osman, who's actually the McLaren 2 ahead of him now. He's just been lapped by one of the front runners, I think it is. I can actually tell you exactly who it is. It's Scott Wyatt. Sorry, he's just gone past him in the McLaren head. But yeah, Osman just ahead of him on track. No DDS stunts anymore at Wilbert. No, thankfully, no more stupid people that decide to try and ruin it for everyone else. Which is never a bad thing. Leo Osman, although he's got a yellow flag for some reason, but let's see what that was. He's now back in the pit lane. That's an odd one. Let's go back and see. I'm assuming it's a big accident. See if the replay is going to choose that it wants to work. Ah, well, that's the replay of him in the wall.
That's a nice replay.
And that will likely explain why he is why he is back in the pit lane then in that case, because yeah, that is less than ideal for the number 18 McLaren. It's a nice livery that in the FG TRL car.
Sponsored by Track Racer, it seems.
Absolutely. I'm just waiting for the game to decide to want to change it. Right, we're going to have to do a little... This is why I told myself not to do any bloody replays, and now it's decided it doesn't want to work again. So we're going to have to just watch... In fact, no, we don't have to just watch that. We can do something clever in the meantime. Get someone outside. There we go. Let's get someone else who's not in the pit lane for the time being whilst I
West McLaren.
do a fixie fix.
Lovely little car.
It's a beautiful livery, this one. I got sent this one by Mark to upload for the race, and it looks absolutely beautiful.
Shame there isn't really a battle between them going on, but there we go. It seems the camera to fix. Going to Reckless Racing, Spa 24 Hours. They have absolutely destroyed the events so far, doing consistent 218s, which is nuts. Fair play to these guys so far.
Just to fix up this properly, we're going to take a very short break. I'm going to once again show the video because I feel at this point it's probably important to remind everyone who's been watching so far what we're actually doing this work for. Just gives us a chance to reset everything as well. So pop that video on. We'll be back in just a minute to do the final 15 minutes of this enormous race.
Heard that there was something wrong with her heart and something wrong with her brain. She just started listing like all these things that were wrong with my baby. There was so many things that I couldn't bear to hear them. I remember shouting at her to stop. Me and my mum went to the 20-week scan at the hospital. We went in absolutely happy. We walked out after really upset. That was it. Like I knew in that minute that like I'm not gonna get to have my baby, not this baby. It broke my husband's heart. You know, it broke everyone's heart. They say when you're pregnant, you feel things like intuition and a different type of gut feeling and a connection with your child, and it's true. I felt time was just coming for her. Peacefully she slipped away, and you're already in so much emotional pain, and now you've got to go through one of the most painful physical things, which is the birth. Like, have I not been through enough already? SiMBA supported me, and I was just welcomed with like love and support. They supported me around the birth, they supported me after. When I gave birth, it was for a minute the pain disappeared. I remember her fingernails, I remember she had like hair going down her spine, a little bit like me. You know, I was just in awe until reality had came in that like she's not moving. Everyone was quiet. The silence was so loud. There was just so much love, but so much pain. And to feel them two things at the same time was really overwhelming. Everything that was a part of her is in this box. It's memories, it's knowing that she existed, that she really mattered, and she was so loved. In the memory box, you're given 2 teddy bears and butterflies. It was at the funeral home before her funeral. We swapped them. So these are actually Aliana's. They were with her for over a week. So she's got the ones that I kept, and I've got the ones that were laid next to her. And it's nice, you know, when a baby's born, you give them teddies. Even though she was born fast asleep, she still got a suitable sort of toy for herself. Little imprints of her toes, and then the same for her hands, and how small they were. I think my favourite one is the wisp of hair. It was like cotton wool. If I went through this without SiMBA support, I would have felt so alone and so lost. I would have had nobody to talk to, nobody to hear experiences from. They say there's no other pain than losing a child. And if it's the worst thing and worst pain you can go through, imagine it with no help or support.
Okay then folks, welcome back. Thank you for taking the time out to watch that video again. It shows us a really good light all the good work that the guys at SiMBA do. Whilst we were doing that, I'm very pleased to say we've been joined by one of the drivers from the car you can see on screen, the 999 Owned Racing Stronger Machine. Trinket Tass in the chat with us. Trinket, how are you? Tired, I imagine.
Very tired. Very much looking forward to falling into bed for about 6 hours to get up and do all of this again.
Yes. Those of you who
Minus
aren't
the
aware,
driving.
Trinket and I are back at Spa this evening for another race where we're going to have another 90 minutes worth of action for the finale of the Owned Racing Multi-Class World Cup at Spa. So you and I are going to be very much fed up, although I do feel like I now have the track map ingrained in my memory, so I'll never forget what any of these corner names are for as long as I live, which is never a bad thing. Have you slept overnight? Have you had a chance to have any sort of break, or have you just kind of done it the whole way through?
Yes, though it was I had about an 8-hour break between some of my stints, but it happened. I was about to come into the pits when the server closed from the DDoS attack.
Oh, okay.
So I had to spend about 20-30 minutes making sure everything was okay, getting the team leader swapped from our current driver who was away, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you can figure it out, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, we had a few of that, to be fair, which is not unsurprising. Because obviously, I don't think anyone expects that to happen. You run to a stint plan, you don't expect those kind of things to come up. Luckily, there's not been a repeat of that, so we've been very fortunate that everything up until this point has run as we would expect it to. How has the race been for you guys as a team? It's not just you personally. Obviously, you're sitting at P13 at the moment, but how has the race been up until this point?
It's been good. We've kept out most of the trouble. We've just been sitting in this position pretty much just floating around 10th, 15th pretty much the whole race. And we're very happy with it. If we keep that for the next 15 minutes, then it will be even greater.
Well, you're fortunate. You've got a nice big hefty gap behind you as well, haven't you? So it's you've got about a minute and a half to the next, unsurprisingly, the next McLaren behind you. Just doesn't come as a surprise anymore when you see that there's a McLaren behind or in front of someone at this stage of the race.
Yeah, there was a few times where you would come around a corner, you'd see a swarm of cars in front of you, and you just realise that every single one of them is a McLaren.
You can't get away from them. That's the thing. They are everywhere. been commonly referred to the fact that we have a McLaren Cup class in this race, and then everyone else is just in the kind of the rest of the world sort of category, I suppose you call it.
Good on that 69 car in P3.
Yes.
If it weren't for that.
Rexy-mobile. Yeah, doing what everyone else would try to do. We did have a Ferrari in the top 10 coming into the end of last night as well, which I think is the 888 car, which has currently been driven by Joe Lodge, or James Lodge, I think, I can't remember. Don't know why they've dropped so far out of it, though, because I, of course, decided I couldn't be bothered to do the night shift and just went to sleep. Just to rub that in.
I've seen a few penalties pop up with their name on it, I think, but nothing that big of a gap maker.
No, exactly. I'm hearing battle for the lead klaxon in the Discord chat. I don't think Mark realises that the lead car does still need to pit. So, sadly, it looks as though we have got the winner kind of wrapped up. Although, saying that, I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday, but just before the server did need to get restarted, this man driving at the moment, I think it was him, David Sparks, actually binned it going through Radeon, literally, probably, I don't know, a minute or two before the server had to be shut down. So, there's still an opportunity that something like that can happen again, and he's got, what, a minute and a half back to being in third place, so stranger things have happened.
Making me think of a Foo Fighters song now.
Very good song as well.
That is a great
Has to
song.
be said. Good choice. So, how long are you going to leave it, Trinket, till after the race is finished before you retire to bed? Are you going to go straight away? Are you going to have a little debrief with the guys, or are you not really kind of decided yet?
Well, just wait for my ADHD to kick in, and then it won't happen at all.
That's a good. I mean, suppose yeah, and even adrenaline after you finish a race like this is going to have an impact on it as well, isn't it? So, I wouldn't be hugely surprised if I caught up with you later on this evening and you were still awake from the night before.
Well, that's exactly what happened before this race. I did a 2.4 hour race Friday evening and stayed up all night to start this. It just got to the point where I just got to the point where I looked at the time and realized, oh, I'm not gonna wake up.
You're an absolute madman, but I respect you for it. Fair play to you guys.
And I've done the most driving.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's one thing I wish we could see is the amount of time that people have put into their respective stints. It'd be a nice thing to look at. I know that Pitwall can do it, but where we've had to reset the server and stuff, and I think that's those sorts of things. Sadly, it has meant that we can't get the full information for the whole race. We might get it at the end actually, because I think the hosting server that we use does have that information available after. So I'm hoping we can see that. It'd be nice to see who's done the big yards.
Sure, there's.
I mean, go on.
It's quiet. Yeah, I'm sure there's people who've done more time than I have, but there's a few teams out there with 7 drivers. It feels like you would barely get any time in the car.
I know, it's mad when you look at it, isn't it? I'm thinking of one. Which is the one I'm trying to think of? I'll scroll down through my list. Where are they? Are they still here? Yeah, the number 7 McLaren. That is the it's just the McLaren racing car. There he is. Yeah. So yeah, 7 of them. It's madness. John Gray wants to know what the current fastest lap is. I can tell you that is a 2:16 something. Hold on, let me scroll back up on my screen. A 2:16.4, which is currently being held by the man currently in second position. So this is where the klaxon came in. Mark suggested there was a battle for the lead klaxon. Abe Santema is now pit, and now as a result is back into P2.
Much faster than I, and probably most of the grid.
Yeah, I think that the thing that's worth mentioning is the fact that I mean that's the fastest lap obviously since we restarted. I know for a fact there was a faster lap between now and then. Your guys' fastest lap was a 2:18.1.
Set by moi. It was the dead of night when it was the dead of night at 12 degrees. It's the perfect time to go fast. I could have gone faster, but I binned it.
Well, you did say in the YouTube chat just before you came in, didn't you, that you didn't choose the Nissan and the McLaren, and the McLaren didn't choose you.
Yes.
Which I felt was a very philosophical way of putting it.
The amount of times I or my teammates would go through Les Combes, and the rear end would just slip. It was just like a whole drifting course, that section, and I do not know why. It was horrible through there.
If you had to pick which car you would have driven, what would you have gone for and why?
296. Because it's pretty much my main since 1.9 came out. It's the one that I took, I stuck to, and I enjoy and I'm comfortable with, and I can throw that thing around any track and be happy with it, whereas some other cars, like I've recently been trying out the 992, and some tracks I enjoy it, it's quite nice, and other tracks I just want to go home. But the 296 has just been a joy for me.
See, I am probably. I mean, I've not actually driven the new McLaren, but I would be the complete opposite, because I've driven the 296 once. I think I told you this on occasions before, but I just can't get on with it. I get the problem that you've just mentioned that you guys have going through Les Combes with the McLaren. I get that through the corners of the Ferrari as well.
There's
just because I'm too lazy to fiddle with the setup, to be completely honest.
Yeah, there's a bit of it with the 296, but it's much more manageable. I don't think you would get along with, especially our setup, because we got given a random setup, and none of us really did much practice, because we did because there was the Spa weekend about a month and a bit ago. It was the Jimmy Broadbent powered by Owned Racing 12 hours of Spa, and then there was the Moser Endurance 6 hours of Spa, of which I did both. So I did a lot of Spa in the 720 Evo.
I was gonna say, now you've done 24 hours of it, and now you're gonna do another what we're gonna call it 2 hours of it tonight as well. Great.
At least I'm not driving it. I'm just
exactly.
You
and I can just you and I can just watch it all over again. Quick update on the donations. We are just under 150 off the total, so it's 1,843 that we're at the moment. And you guys have donated again, which is lovely to see. The only racing car not 999 donated a short while ago. So thank you to you and the team for that. Drink it, very kind of you.
But of course.
Oh, as you see, there's a McLaren going a strange way through Les Combes, and that is going to give the 751 car of Boschart a little bit of encouragement, I would have thought, because he's now within 2 seconds, and he's actually lapping quite a bit quicker than the 711 car as well. That, funnily enough, I don't know if you saw this, because it's a little bit behind where you guys are in the race at the moment, but that 711 car was actually a full lap ahead of these guys a short while ago, but actually got caught up in an incident with them when they were getting past the car that's currently behind them, which is the 94 car. So interesting how things play out in the end.
I did see that, because it happened right in front of us on track.
Oh, did it? So you were one of the many people who had to avoid it. Yeah, because actually, you're right, because there was a big old gaggle of you that came through, wasn't there?
I had the YouTube stream up on my second monitor, and I saw the fight going on, and then I look over at my main monitor and I see our driver pass the cars all stranded on the sides of the track. I'm like, oh, I was watching that fight. I know how it ends now.
Good stuff. It's I had messages from both sides of that battle, both from the Posper team and from the Hexagon Nation team, who both were popping into chat and Discord and saying to me, put that battle on the screen. It's like, right, okay, fine. For the last half an hour, I'm going to turn off the auto camera and I'll manage it from this end instead, so everyone can see. And now all it looks like is that I'm just giving a load of preference to the Posper team, because they are actually at the moment the closest two cars on track, which is what I'm just looking at, because everyone else has kind of just disappeared. They've kind of just dissipated out a little bit.
That reminds me of one of the Sunday streams we did recently, I think, where there was nothing else going on track, so we were just watching a fight with one of the Owned Racing teams, and then we got called biased because we were watching Owned Racing.
Exactly. You can't win. We've got a yellow flag up here. Oh dear. Let's see what happened to Matt Redfern. Hopefully the replays aren't going to fail me this time. I mean, we probably know what's going to happen. He's going to catch that curb. Yes, he is. Offsets the car. Does he hit the wall? A little dink. Not going to be too bad in the end. It could have been a lot worse.
It's going to be probably about 10 seconds total, but it's going to be evenly spread, so it's not going to be too bad.
Yeah, exactly. Front and back, as they say. Annoyingly for the 751 car, that's exactly where he's come out. So that is Bart Boschart just behind him. Although it looks like, is Matt going to let him through? That is very, very good of him indeed. Considering you do get a lot of people, don't you? You get a lot of people who have that kind of there is a word I would use for it. It escapes me because we've done so much of this already. But you know, you just feel like you're kind of better than them, and you feel like, well, I'm further ahead. I don't need to let them by. But nice to see Matt playing the sensible game.
There is certain etiquette towards it for sure.
Absolutely.
I could ramble on, but I'm not gonna.
We've only got 4 minutes left, so
yeah, I'm not gonna say something out of turn.
We've got, I reckon, 2 laps left. So we're going to be doing 457 laps in total, at least on this side of the restart. I think we've probably done about 570 in total, I believe. So I'm just looking at where, I'm looking at where David Sparks is, and he is just coming round Piff Path at the moment. So I think that means we'll probably have this lap and we'll have this lap and 2 more, I would think. Yeah, round about that. We'll find out soon enough.
Include a glorious 1,440 minutes at Spa-Francorchamps.
Absolutely. Well, 1,380 technically. I mean, that's about as close as it's going to get with the time they had to take out. But luckily, the way it was timed, it kind of felt that it kind of brought us back up to where we were going to finish anyway. I think we knew we'd finish around about 11:30, and that's when we're going to finish after the restarts and all that fun stuff. But were you guys one of the teams that were impacted by the seemingly random shuffle on the restarts that we had to do?
Well, I was asleep for the restart. The actual server restart, but it come when, I think if you remember the actual race start itself.
Yeah.
The cars inside of other cars. We were one of those people who were inside another car. I've no idea where we actually started on the grid.
I couldn't even possibly tell you. I kept saying to the stream, I was like, I don't know where anyone was. The only one I know is that the team that's leading the race is the team that was first on the grid. That's all I know.
I think.
So yeah, we will definitely get 2 more laps because they're coming down the Kemmel straight now, and there's two and a bit minutes left. So.
Oh yeah.
This one and 1 more.
Yeah. I think one of the teams must have started out of position or something. I'm not entirely sure, because in our first few laps we were being overtaken by someone way faster than us, and I swear they were in second.
There was a few of them that got rejigged. It happened on the server restart as well, because the team who were in first, so the 84 McLaren, they started in 5th. So it all kind of got really rejigged with no idea why. Which looks like a little Kunos quirk. You know how it is. It's just one of them. But yeah, luckily it hasn't impacted things too much, which is positive. Just had a donation from someone called Mum R. Not sure who that is. But thank you, Mum R, if you're in the chat or if you're watching the stream. Brings us ever closer to the total as we come on to the final couple of laps in this Spa 24-hour in association with SiMBA. It's been an absolutely manic, incredible feat of endurance for everyone involved. And I think there's quite a few people who will be sad and happy in equal measure to know that we're coming to the end of this. Happy because they've managed to get through it. Sad because I think there's probably a lot of people out there, maybe including you, Trinket, that would maybe go for a little while longer. I've said that with a big grin on my face. I was going to say, I've said that with a big grin on my face, knowing that the answer is probably going to be a no.
Well, I did 7 hours of this today. Last night I did 2.4 hours solo. I think I've done enough racing.
Yeah, I think you probably could do with a couple of days off.
Yeah, my wrists and hands are hurting. I'm still waiting on my sim racing gloves, so my calluses are...
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, that would be very, very sore indeed. So we are now officially on to the final lap of this race. David Sparks will take one final tour of this Spa-Francorchamps circuit, all 4 and a bit miles of it, and will, barring any miraculous events and happenings over the next couple of minutes, will come through to finish this one off as the winner of this enormous feat of endurance. We've seen a lot of people drift out of this with issues with hardware, with server problems, with on their end swap changes causing issues as well. But we have come through to the end of this with 47 of the 62 starting cars And these guys have realistically been a cut above the rest. They have been so difficult to catch the entire way through. It's been incredible. I'm actually seeing a yellow flag as well, although they've just gotten back up to speed. It was this guy. This man broke and died for the Phoenix Racing team who got caught up in that. Not entirely sure what happened there. What's this? I see a message from Dan Quist in the chat. He is one of those driving the number 177 Aston Martin V12. So they're asking if a P30 counts as a top 30. I think it does.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fair. I mean, you're nearly a lap ahead of P31. I feel like it's definitely valid.
Oh yeah, if I'm finishing 10th, you're top 10. You're in the top of the 10.
Exactly. I think that's a top 30 finisher. That is incredibly impressive. We'll come back to the closest battle on track in a minute, which is between the 711 and the 751 car. And we've got another one a bit further back as well, which I'll keep an eye on in a second, where they're going through there as well. So that's absolutely fine. We see a final drive-through cleared before we round up this race. But as we see coming through Blanchimont for the final time and into the bus stop chicane one last time, David Sparks is going to take the win here for the Reckless Racing 84 team. They have led almost from start to finish exclusively, and they're going to take the victory here in the 24 Hours of Spa with Positive Perception in association with SiMBA, the charity. It will be eventually Abe Santema that will come through in second place. We'll give you as much a roundup of results as we can in a few minutes' time. In the meantime, though, let's go and see what's going on. This is going to be the first battle that's going to cross the line. Andy Driscoll at the moment is sitting in P22, but Udod is very much close behind him and is continuing to close. Although, hold on a second, because I think we've had a change of position here. Is it Bart Boschart's going to try and round the outside of Bruce Sells on Grief? I don't know where to look now. This is the point where I wish someone would fund me a second PC and I could do split screens, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Let's go back to this one as they come through the final couple of corners. Blanchimont, Andy Driscoll is just about holding on to P22. It's going to be a last-ditch move, you would think, from Udod going into the bus stop chicane. He's going to be alongside coming into the braking zone. It's going to be super close. There's back markers in the mix as well. This is going to spice things up a little bit more as they come through there, but it looks like Driscoll is just about going to hold on as they cross the line. Let's go back to this one now as they come through. It is Mikael Grief in the Exordium Racing car who is just about holding on from Bart Boschart in the 751 POSPER machine. It would only be right to have a POSPER car very much involved down at the back end of this one. Bart has done an absolute madness in this race to continue what he's doing. Your podium position finishers will be David Sparks in the winning of this one, Abe Santema in second place, and Simon Beeg will make sure it is not a McLaren top 3. He will finish third in the AO Racing Porsche. Michael Grief looks like he is going to get this one, barring a massive dive from Bart Boschart in the end. He's going to go late on the brakes. He's going to try it as they go into the bus stop. He's going to be side by side. Last contact between them. Oh, it's all ended in the worst way possible, but it looks like Bart is going to wait, and I think that is arguably the right thing to do. See, he's just going to wait for it to cross. So yeah, she is going to cross the line in P15. He's going to take it in the end. I'm not sure whether the Exordium Racing team will have something to say on that, but that does wrap up this race. That has been an absolute iconic event, it has to be said. Annoyingly, people have started... Annoyingly, I don't blame people for doing what they're doing, but annoyingly, people have elected to disappear from the server. But the top 3 was, in the end, David Sparks, Abe Santema, Simon Beegs. Will wrap up this one. Oh, my Lord. Thank you to everyone who has been involved in this one. I would encourage everybody to come into the interview waiting room and have a chat with us before we wrap things up on this stream. We've gone 24 hours and a bit in the stream. We could do a couple more minutes. It's absolutely fine. Oh my word, chaps, what do we think?
That was a great ending. That was a great ending.
There we go. We have just see confirmation in the chat. So Grief has said Mark's been saying they will swap the result round between 15th and 16th there, which I don't blame them at all. Oh my Lord, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. I think we're all got that shock that's actually now over, which is good for some.
Yeah, has now actually finished. Seeing everyone into the Discord chat piling in and having words to people. As I said, if everyone wants to come in and join us in the chat, you're more than welcome. 11 out of 10, let's do this every weekend. I am
No.
very much with you on that, Jan. I don't know if everyone will agree with you, but I'm sure a lot of people will echo that sentiment. I absolutely no doubt.
Definitely placed for short enduros on a weekly basis, I think.
I think so, yeah. The 2.4s, like you said before, they're a lovely thing to just split things up every now and again. It's nice to have a little something every now and again, just to keep people ticking over. Yeah, let's tell everyone that they can hop into the waiting room for a little natter if they want to. So at the end of the race itself, we hit 1,868 in the end in terms of our donation total. So £1,868. Again, worth mentioning the fact that we actually originally had this target set at £1,000, and the fact that we managed to get up to 2,000 is absolutely incredible. So thank you so much to everyone who has been involved in any way, shape, or form. Trinket to you guys, of course, for being one of the many teams that we've had taking part. First is first. Have you enjoyed it? Is the main thing.
Oh yeah, loved it. It's been great. And unfortunate server hiccups early on, but after that everything went smooth. I had great fun. It's truly something else to race for an endurance event like this with that many people. It's just something that you don't really get a chance to do very often.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you get there, the size of the grid, the amount of people. It's been a really competitive field as well, which is great to see. Even qualifying was split by, I think it's about 3 seconds over 62 people, which, when you consider these sorts of events, you sometimes expect there might be a fairly kind of big gap in performance, but no, been fantastic. So very, very pleased indeed. The chat is going absolutely mad with everyone. Everyone coming in. We're seeing family members coming in as well, because I can only assume that is one of them in Paula Woodle as well, saying well done to all and well done Matt and Daz for getting 6th place there. They have had an absolutely mad experience. I feel like they have been in 2nd, they've been in 30th, 50th, 6th, 7th, 8th. No, I feel like they've tried to do that thing where they go and position in every single position on track, which is a feat in itself. I'm going to bring in Mr. Raddenbury. Mark Raddenbury, you're in the broadcast chat. Please do not swear. I feel like we need some words from you, just to summarise what you've gone through, both racing and from an administration point of view in the last 25 hours, if not longer.
Do you know what? I don't think words are enough for this event. I love the fact you've caught me off guard with this, for my voice going really croaky now as well. It's truly been an absolutely incredible event. I am overwhelmed by the amount of donations. I'm overwhelmed by the driving. It's truly been a joy to spend the last nearly 29 hours awake. In fact, no, it's more than 29. Probably it's nearer 30 hours I've been awake now.
If you can't remember, it means it's been long.
It really does, doesn't it? It really does.
That is so true.
No, it's been incredible. Everyone's been fantastic. There has been some down moments. A little bit of chatter about incidents, which we did ask people not to do in the Discord. But all in all, I think 99.9% of people have truly enjoyed themselves, had a laugh, and raised a heck of a lot of money for charity, which at the end of the day, that is exactly what it was all about.
Absolutely. At the final count of the race, at least, I'm sure we'll leave this on for a couple more days just to let everyone settle down, and we'll remind everyone as well. But at the end of the race, £1,868.
And I did notice, and I don't know if you noticed, David, my mother has donated.
Oh, is that who Mama is?
Mama is my...
Ah, now it all makes sense. It all makes sense now.
So thank you, Mummy. She won't be watching, but thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Honestly, much appreciated to everyone. Are we able to get the race winners in here, David? Is that?
I don't even know who their names are. If you can find them, then let's
Passed
drag them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame them if they've disappeared and gone for a nap. In
Maybe
fairness, I can see David Sparks. Let me
Get
drop him a quick
David
message.
Sparks. Let's have him. While I try and figure out how to get these results. What I could just open it up and copy it, couldn't I? That would be the simple way.
This is my second ever race on SimGrid, so I'm looking forward to getting 10 points like I did last time.
You'll get at least 5. I'm nice like that. Now why is that not copying? That's slightly annoying. Your remote desktop service has ended. Ow. Chris of the Rock has clearly just logged me out.
It's closed it down.
Race is over. Goodbye.
I'm gonna send him a message.
That has been huge. Genuinely lost for words to a certain extent. Then again, I suppose when you say so many words as we have done in the last 26 hours,
Yeah, there's not many more
not
words.
unsurprising.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. This is it.
There's quite a
This
few
is
people
it.
in the waiting room now. Should I drag in
Yes,
David?
these are the
Here
these
we
are the
are.
winners.
Come on, bring him in. Bring him in.
Delighted to be joined by the Reckless Racing team, or at least 2 of them so far. We'll see if we can get the rest of them in a minute as well. But James, David, congratulations. You guys have been on another level. How does it feel?
A relief. Yeah. It's a chaotic race. But no, good.
You've been quite a way ahead through the majority of it. Apart from, obviously, you guys kind of almost had that horror show when, I can't remember which one of you it was. I'm not going to try and name names, but I think one of you lost it at the top of Eau Rouge very shortly before we had to restart the server, didn't you? How was the heart rate at that point, knowing that you were probably going to be in the pit lane for a little while fixing that damage?
Well, yeah, that was me. When the first attack, it wiped us out the source, so the car was heavily damaged. I went slow through Eau Rouge, but then there was another slight attack, and it spun me and the other McLaren behind. So we both. So then, yeah, we just thought, oh, this is it. It's over, really. Because we drove back to the pits, but I think it was a lap and a half down or something. Yeah, so the first attack was what killed us, because everyone just crashed into each other. Obviously, you see it on the stream, but yes, it was a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, so
we got through it, didn't we?
Yeah. So,
Goodness me. I mean, how do you get through that? Like, obviously, you guys are leading. You led 367 of the 458 laps. I have it on good authority, according to the what Mark affectionately calls the fancy schmancy results. How do you keep focus in that, especially during the night time as well? Because obviously that's when it can be really easy to make a little mistake now and again, can't it?
I'll just leave it to James to just do what he does. Just put quali lap in after quali lap. And,
Really were quali laps as well.
That's just
I can't get near those times. The best time I got, 18.7. Do you know what? I was over the bloody moon with that.
I would just say, I just sort of set myself little goals during the night stint just to keep me focused.
I love that.
It's quite easy to lose focus, isn't it?
Go on. What is your all-time number 1 top tip you would give to anyone who is considering entering an endurance event, be it an hour driver swap, a 2-hour driver swap, to 24? What's your number 1 tip?
Practice.
Yeah, practice, and not to get too stressed about it, and just enjoy it, really.
Fantastic.
If you start stressing, then that's you're just not going to perform, are you?
Yeah, no, absolutely brilliant.
I think a lot of things with endurance, a lot of people will get a bit excited early on.
Funny, I didn't notice that.
If only we could say we didn't have that luxury of people deciding to do that. No, it's
I didn't have to
Yeah.
lean over to my wheel to my keyboard and type red flag today at all. Yesterday, sorry.
I was going to say it wasn't today.
I need sleep, boys.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, the I suppose 10% of the back markers were a bit of a nightmare, but to be fair, that's pretty good, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I think that was saying also you guys organising the whole event been very good.
Yeah, and I'm glad you've raised so much money for SiMBA as well.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
We're £20 off the £2,000 target. We've just seen a massive flurry of donations following the end of the race. Seeing people saying they've lost bets as well, which is quite interesting. I desperately need to figure out what's been going on with those. But
Now, David,
we
I do believe in the Positive Perception Business PayPal account, and I've been saving.
I was going to say I've been meaning to ask you about this as well. Yeah,
I've been saving this. There is £20 that needs to go in.
Yes, do it now.
I am literally.
Do it now.
I am on it now. Hold on.
I need to see that tip over. We just whack another grand on the target after that and see if we can make it 3 instead.
What? I've got the login.
Exactly. Oh, boys. On a separate note, for me at least personally, I can't speak for everyone else as well, but for me, you guys are a team that I've not personally had the chance of seeing around a huge amount before. For those of you who don't know, what's your guys' kind of background? What events are you normally? Are you normally going for these kind of charity ones? Are you more towards the competitive nature? Like, what is the? See, because you're clearly a quick bunch of lads. I can say that much.
Go on, James.
Who's going to do the sales pitch?
We just see what's races are on, don't we? Really, on SimGrid and just if we want to win to one, we'll win to one.
It's mainly just me and James as a team. We find a race and then we struggle to get drivers. That is normally what happened. The two guys, Peter and Max, we've not raced with them before in endurance. I've raced with Peter, and I just mentioned to him, and he got his mate in. So as a sort of new team, it can't fault it. Went really well.
Yeah, until a week ago,
Exactly.
we thought
You didn't do
it was going
bad.
to be me and David.
Yeah,
Last week,
Yeah,
it was me and David just racing.
Beginner's luck, then, basically. That's what you say.
pretty much.
Good stuff. Well, look, chaps, congratulations. You guys have absolutely smashed it. You've not only smashed it on the livery front, so whoever's designed that one, kudos to that, because it looks absolutely smashing.
Oh, thank you very much.
And thank you guys for taking part, and congratulations on taking the win as well. 24 hours, and considering you spent as many laps as you did at the front of the grid, that is a serious achievement. So I know you guys will be, but you should be very proud of what you've done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, cheers for that, and great organisation and everything. Great event. We'll be back at the next one.
Excellent.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll have to make sure we'll get some fires in the iron over the next couple of days, and we'll figure out what we're going to do. Sure, I'm sure knowing Mark, he's probably already got a load of ideas kicking around anyway. So,
Well, I mean,
watch this space.
how do you boys feel about Bathurst
No.
Love it.
and Chevy's for 12 hours? Yeah. All right. Sign. Sweet. Sign you up.
Yes. I already have a livery ready to go. Let's go.
No. You don't have a livery ready to go until I've finished the pack of supercars. That would be incredible.
Oh, goodness
no,
me.
I don't know what.
There we go.
We'll do another one.
There we go. Sorry, we just want to confirm that we have now tipped over the £2,000 target. It wasn't even you doing it, Mark, either. It's not even you taking any money out of your little pocket.
I may have forgotten the login for the business PayPal, so I've been trying to get it done.
No, we've officially tipped over £2,000, courtesy of Michael Grief, who, of course, your guys, Mark, nerfed at the end. But I did notice that you were going to very kindly give the position back, which I felt was fair.
We have, yeah. I've just
and another anonymous donation tips us over to £2,050 now, because Nick Karianis has just dipped in, and you've then presumably just found the login.
I
for
have
the account
found
as
the
well.
login
So
and put it in as well.
we've absolutely smashed it. So thank you to everyone who has donated, watched, raced, stewarded, organised, commentated, interviewed, all of the above. Like, I don't think there's anywhere near enough roles and responsibilities that we can call out to thank you guys for it. For the sake of everyone involved, I am now going to shut down the stream.
Oh, yes.
Because we've all been doing enough. I am going to wrap it up with the video that SiMBA very kindly provided us.
Perfect.
Just to really recap for everyone the work that SiMBA do. They do some amazing stuff. They've touched some people who have been part of this race personally, which is great to see. And hopefully it'll give you guys just a bit of a reminder as to why we do this, why they do this, and why we are so happy that we've actually now officially gone past the £2,000 target, which again, I'll reiterate, was £1,000 before we got to 1,000, which was even before the race started. So thank you to everyone. To everyone who is partaking in the race, to the winners, the losers, everyone in between as well. To everyone who has stewarded, everyone who has been in the chat, everyone who's watched the stream, everyone who's liked, subscribed, commentated, stewarded, organised. I can't even begin to think of anything else. So thank you guys so much for watching. Till next time, whenever that will be. I think we all need a break. We all need a rest now. Thank you to everyone, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.
Heard that there was something wrong with her heart and something wrong with her brain. She just started listing like all these things that were wrong with my baby. There was so many things that I couldn't bear to hear them. I remember shouting at her to stop. Me and my mum went to the 20-week scan at the hospital. We went in absolutely happy. We walked out after really upset. That was it. Like I knew in that minute that like I'm not gonna get to have my baby, not this baby. It broke my husband's heart. You know, it broke everyone's heart. They say when you're pregnant, you feel things like intuition and a different type of gut feeling and a connection with your child, and it's true. I felt time was just coming for her. Peacefully, she slipped away, and you're already in so much emotional pain, and now you've got to go through one of the most painful physical things, which is the birth. Like, have I not been through enough already? SiMBA supported me, and I was just welcomed with like love and support. They supported me around the birth, they supported me after. When I gave birth, it was for a minute the pain disappeared. I remember her fingernails, I remember she had like hair going down her spine, a little bit like me. You know, I was just in awe until reality had came in that like she's not moving. Everyone was quiet, the silence was so loud. There was just so much love, but so much pain. And to feel them two things at the same time was really overwhelming. Everything that was a part of her is in this box. It's memories, it's knowing that she existed, that she really mattered, and she was so loved. In the memory box, you're given 2 teddy bears and butterflies. It was at the funeral home before her funeral. We swapped them. So these are actually Aliana's. They were with her for over a week. So she's got the ones that I kept, and I've got the ones that were laid next to her. And it's nice, you know, when a baby's born, you give them teddies. Even though she was born fast asleep, she still got a suitable sort of toy for herself. Little imprints of her toes, and then the same for her hands, and how small they were. I think my favourite one is the wisp of hair. It was like cotton wool. If I went through this without SiMBA support, I would have felt so alone and so lost. I would have had nobody to talk to, nobody to hear experiences from. They say there's no other pain than losing a child. And if it's the worst thing and worst pain you can go through, imagine it with no help or support.